The coastline was a canvas of grays and greens, lashed by a relentless, churning sea. The waves, like ancient artists, sculpted the shore with each powerful crash, leaving behind a masterpiece of nature's raw power. The sky above was a tumultuous blend of dark clouds, swirling and merging, as if the heavens themselves were embroiled in a fierce battle. Jagged cliffs, carved by eons of wind and water, clawed at the sky. These towering sentinels stood as silent witnesses to the relentless forces of nature, their sharp edges a testament to the unyielding power of the elements. Each crevice and crack told a story of time, of storms weathered and battles fought against the ceaseless tide. The air itself seemed heavy, laden with the scent of salt and an unsettling stillness that preceded the storm's fury. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a calm before the inevitable tempest. The mist hung low, a ghostly veil that shrouded the landscape in an eerie, otherworldly glow. Every breath taken was a reminder of the ocean's omnipresence, its salty tang a constant companion. Waves crashed against the rocks, sending plumes of spray high into the air. Each impact was a symphony of sound, a thunderous roar that echoed across the desolate shore. The water, in its relentless assault, seemed to be both creator and destroyer, shaping the land even as it sought to reclaim it. The spray, caught in the wind, danced like ephemeral spirits before vanishing into the storm. This was a place of raw, untamed beauty, untouched by the hand of man, or so it seemed. The landscape, though desolate, was alive with the whispers of ancient tales, of creatures long gone and forces still at play. It was a reminder of the world's wild heart, beating strong and free, far from the reach of civilization. Here, nature reigned supreme, a powerful, unyielding force that shaped the land and sea in its image. Tangled amongst the kelp and debris of a tattered fishing net lay a figure of startling beauty. Her skin, a vibrant azure, shimmered even in the diffused light of the storm. Intricate swirling patterns, like tattoos etched by the sea itself, adorned her arms and face. She was unlike anything found on Earth, yet there was an undeniable grace in her form, an elegance that transcended the alien nature of her being. Her eyes, large and luminous, held a depth of emotion that belied her predicament. They were fixed on the horizon, on something beyond the veil of the storm. Was it a rescue she sought, or perhaps something more profound, a connection to a home she could no longer reach? Trapped by the net, she was a prisoner of circumstance, her fate hanging precariously between the known and the unknown. Standing on a precipice overlooking the turbulent scene was a lone figure. The wind howled around him, carrying the scent of salt and the promise of an impending storm. Waves crashed violently against the rocks below, sending sprays of foam into the air. The sky above was a swirling mass of dark clouds, threatening to unleash their fury at any moment. Yet, amidst this chaos, the figure stood still, unwavering, as if he were a part of the landscape itself. A man, clad in a bright yellow raincoat, a stark contrast to the muted tones of the alien landscape. The raincoat flapped wildly in the wind, its vibrant color a beacon in the otherwise desolate scene. The ground beneath his feet was rough and uneven, a mixture of jagged rocks and sparse vegetation that seemed to struggle for survival in this harsh environment. The man's presence here was an enigma, a splash of color in a world that seemed to have forgotten what color was. His face, weathered and etched with lines of experience, was turned towards the sea. Deep lines carved by years of exposure to the elements told a story of resilience and determination. His eyes, sharp and focused, scanned the horizon with a mixture of concern and curiosity. What was he searching for? What secrets did the vast expanse of water hold? The answers seemed just out of reach, hidden beneath the churning waves and the thick veil of mist that hung over the sea. He held a pair of binoculars to his eyes, his gaze fixed on something in the distance. The lenses reflected the stormy sky, capturing fleeting glimpses of the tumultuous scene. Through the binoculars, he could see the distant outline of a ship, barely visible through the haze. Was it a vessel in distress? or merely a figment of his imagination? The man's grip tightened on the binoculars, his knuckles white with tension. He had to know. He had to be sure. Was he a scientist, an explorer, or perhaps a castaway himself, drawn to this desolate shore? Each possibility carried its own weight, its own story. A scientist driven by a thirst for knowledge, seeking answers in the most unlikely of places. An explorer fueled by a desire to chart the unknown, to push the boundaries of human experience. Or a castaway, lost and alone, searching for a way back to a world that had long since forgotten him. The man's true identity remained a mystery, as elusive as the secrets hidden within the stormy sea. Through the driving rain, a shape began to emerge from the mist. A ship, its sails tattered and torn, yet billowing with an eerie life of their own. It was an imposing vessel, seemingly out of time and place, like a phantom from a forgotten age. Its dark hull and skeletal masts hinted at a history of voyages through treacherous waters, of battles fought and won. Was it friend or foe? Section 6. Silence and the Storm. In a world where the elements themselves seemed to be alive, the storm was both a harbinger of chaos and a testament to the raw beauty of nature. The coastline, with its jagged rocks and alien flora, stood as a silent witness to the fury that unfolded. The wind howled, a mournful cry that echoed across the desolate landscape. It was as if the very air was lamenting the desolation, carrying with it the whispers of forgotten tales and lost civilizations. The barren land, devoid of life, seemed to stretch endlessly, a testament to the relentless passage of time. Waves crashed against the cliffs, their roar a symphony of raw power. Each wave, a force of nature, seemed to tell its own story of distant storms and far-off seas. The cliffs, weathered by countless years, stood resilient, bearing the brunt of the ocean's fury with stoic grace. Yet, in the midst of this tempestuous drama, a strange silence reigned. It was an eerie calm, a moment of stillness that seemed almost out of place amidst the chaos. This silence was not merely the absence of sound, but a profound stillness that seemed to hold the very essence of the storm. The man in the yellow raincoat stood motionless, his gaze unwavering. He seemed to be a part of the landscape, a solitary figure standing against the backdrop of nature's fury. His presence was both a mystery and a beacon, a silent observer of the storm's relentless dance. The blue-skinned woman in the net remained still, her expression unreadable. She was a figure of intrigue, her presence adding a layer of enigma to the scene. The net, a symbol of entrapment, seemed almost fragile against the backdrop of the storm, yet it held her firmly in place. The only movement was the relentless assault of the storm, its fury unyielding. The wind and waves seemed to be locked in a perpetual battle, each trying to outdo the other in a display of raw power. The storm was a force of nature, unstoppable and indifferent to the world around it, and the slow, inexorable approach of the ship. It moved with a purpose, cutting through the storm with an almost eerie grace. The ship, a marvel of futuristic design, seemed out of place in the chaotic landscape, yet it moved forward with a determination that was almost palpable. As it neared the coast, the storm seemed to intensify, as if aware of the impending arrival. Section 7. Worlds apart, drawn together. What strange fate had brought these three disparate elements together on this storm-tossed shore? The human, the alien, and the ghostly ship from a bygone era, each a mystery unto themselves, yet inextricably bound by the invisible threads of destiny. The crashing waves, the howling wind, the very air itself seemed thick with anticipation. A story was about to unfold, a tale spun from the fabric of the extraordinary. Section 8. A mystery yet unwritten. The scene held a sense of pregnant silence, a moment frozen in time before the curtain would rise on a drama yet to be written. Would the man in the yellow raincoat come to the aid of the stranded alien? What awaited them aboard the ghostly vessel? Was it a rescue, or something far more sinister? The answers lay hidden within the storm, waiting to be revealed. Section 9. Echoes of wonder. This alien coastline, a place of stark beauty and untamed power, became a stage for an encounter that defied explanation. It whispered of otherworldly wonders, of the vastness of the universe and the infinite possibilities that lay hidden beyond the veil of the known. And as the storm raged on, one couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder, for in that moment, anything seemed possible.